Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Jumpstart. My name is Jason Meyer, and this morning we're going to be mixing some colors. So I hope everybody's ready. Looks like there's a few of you out there getting the palette knives ready. Good morning, Claudia. Good morning. Miss Schaefer. Sunshine to you. It's a little overcast here, or really overcast. It'll burn off later. You probably wish you had a little of that, I'm sure. And good morning, Miss Shakti. Miss Shakti. Miss L is probably right there too. So good morning, everybody. So, hey, Rini, I was just wondering about you. I was just wondering if Rini was around or is watching the reruns or what. All right, good to see all of you. So I saw a couple of the palettes and little Moonscape thumbnails you did. Right on, guys. Right on. So happy. A little bit of this is, man, it'll really pay off. So just a reminder, as we're wrapping up this month's course, we've got this morning's mixing, and then Friday I'll do a demo, a 2-hour demo. We'll mix up the colors and then we'll paint the reference here. All right, so that will be through the school, 2 hours on Friday, and that will be the last of this month's course. But never fear, all these exercises and everything that we did this month, next month we're going to spend 1 week doing compositional studies of all three. It was the Moonscape, the Still Life, and then Miss L. And next month be 1 week of the compositions, and then we'll take 3 weeks to do the painting. You're welcome to pick one, do all three, but since we spent a month in the color, we really won't talk about the color. We'll do composition and just head right into it. And then again in August, the 3-month course is going to start, and I think you guys will love it. It's going to be everything we're doing, but it's going to be slowed down, going to be more handouts, just a lot more where we're going all the way through together. Okay, so there'll be plenty of time to teach you what you need to know and to practice it. So this morning, we're going to mix our big pieces for the Moonscape again. Again, not the finished pieces, but we want to start with 4 big values, right? Our dark down here on the land that'll continue up into our little bush here, and the next is going to be the ocean, followed by the sky, and then we have the moon. We have some beach and some mountains and some electric lights right here that you can't quite see yet. On Friday I'll actually start on this right here, and we'll show you how you develop that. Because I know a lot of you, especially when you're beginning, this is as far as you get, and you're like, what's next? But there is no next until we get a good beginning down. Okay, but once we have the good beginning, boom, it's really just more of the same. We're going to be refining and pulling up, pushing down, things like that. Okay, so just a quick rerun of what we covered in class Monday and mixing yesterday is on the landscape, our dark values we've got to make sure are up. Can't be as dark as they are in some of our still lives, right? A still life, especially a black vase and a still life, man, that can hold some dark. But you know, even on a dark night, you're able to see the ground. Right, and on a full moon or something, man, you're going to be able to see just fine. So your dark's not going to be so dark, your light's not going to be so light. In other words, we're going to compress our values. Okay, again, I'm not going to run all through that because we spent Monday and Tuesday covering that. But what we are going to do today is we're going to mix our 4 values again, try to get them close together. Since we walked through that yesterday, I'm going to just kind of do that. And then we'll talk about, okay, well, we have the ground. Well, what about the tree? Right? We can start getting in each value maybe multiple colors. So we'll talk a little bit about that. All right, but 30 minutes isn't much time, so we better use it wisely. Use it wisely. Hey, there's Miss Cindy. Miss Cindy's there. All right, we got a good crew this morning. Excellent. So let's start with our dark, which we started with our burnt umber. And I guess for review, let's review the colors really again. So our cool is our ultramarine blue here, and that's quote unquote acting as our purple. Our green is permanent green light. That's our green. And then all three of these are our quote unquote orange. Again, I'm denoting a direction more than a particular place on a color wheel when I say purple, green, and orange. All right, that's cad yellow deep. You might have cad orange, yellow ochre, burnt umber. Again, all of those are in that warm orange family. Green, purple. Then we have our neutrals, white and black. This is just some medium so that the paint mixes easier. So for our darkest value, we're going to start with our burnt umber. And then from our experience yesterday, we remember we want to bring that up even. Right? And we brought that up with some yellow ochre and a little bit of the orange or the cad yellow deep. Your paintings can get moodier the closer your values get, as long as they stay separated. The closer your dark and your light are, kind of the quieter, the moodier that painting is. So this is feeling pretty good to me. Seems like it has a little bit of life to it. Can you guys see? I know there's a bit of a glare on that. But can you guys see how far off black that is? Might even be easier there. A little bit hard. But that's up there. Okay, so that'll be our number 4 foreground. Or the first stop. And then we had the green ocean. Now remember that permanent green proved a little bit harsh. So we used our ivory black with some yellow ochre. And what do we know about this? Remember, when we're mixing color, value first, value first, value first. So this needs to be lighter than that. So let's just... still pretty close. Still pretty close. Since we don't want this to be strong too, let's add a few other light elements in here. So are all 3 of those lighter than all of that? Yeah. Again, so stronger green, a little transparency, a little white, help gray it off just a bit. Again, instead of going right in the middle, just pull on the edge. It's going to give you better control. So that's going a little yellow for me. A little too bright. So let's give a little white a chance. Because the ocean in this setup, we want it to kind of, it's the in-between. We don't want to be looking at it. Right? If we see anything on the ocean, it would just be the white caps of the waves breaking against the shore, or the lights reflecting off of it. All right, looks like we're lighter now. We don't know if that's the exact right value, but we know we've got the relationship in the right direction, meaning this is lighter than that. And before we fine tune, we want all four of our piles here. So let's just take this and, right, this was just kind of our ingredients. Like if we were making a salad, that'd be the bottom of the celery or something, and then go into the salad. What'd we decide there? Well, we decided the sky. But why don't we find our high end first? Right? Our high end is that moon. And that's as high end as we can go. But no, it's not really what we got to pull back. We got to pull back. All right, so that value's a little better, but it's a bit hot, meaning the too colorful. So let's pull it down and all right. Now I think we're getting somewhere. Because if we add a bit of white to that, again, stick it on the outside so you have more control. We can go more. And a little, there we go. There we go. All right, well, why don't we start there anyway? So the moon, how far is that off white? It's a nice little clip, isn't it? Again, remember, with that, the landscapes, there's real need in most of the paintings, in all the paintings, we want to start compressing our values, right? Again, I encourage everybody when they start, and how I teach is black and white and 1, 2 in the middle until we get control. But as we develop our control, as we develop our skills, right, our painting should reflect that. As we start to compress these values, your paintings are going to begin to feel better. Okay? So, we've got our dark value. We've got that in-between value. And then we've got our pinnacle, what we used to call our highlight, like our lightest value. And now we're missing that sky in between, right? That number 2 value. So we've got the pinnacle, we've got our achievement, we've got in between, and we've got the foundation. So we got the ultramarine blue. It's not going to take a ton of that, is it? Not going to take a ton of that. And how do you lighten that? But that chroma is going to be way too high. And I got that value way too light. What do you mean? Well, see how much lighter it is than the orange there? So let's darken this down and just gray it up a little bit. Maybe a touch of black, touch of burnt umber. I have to start getting a little warmth into this thing. A touch of it all. Now that's starting to feel more like a natural night sky to me. Not sure where we were where the other sky was that color, but now you're talking a more natural tone, and guess what? That moon's gonna shine in that sky. Hey, Miss Jenny, Miss Jenny. So, I saw your little sketch, Miss Jenny, and that looked fantastic. That little thumbnail, color mixing. So, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up. Okay, how are we looking, guys? Is that looking... Let's get this out of here. Let's just clean up, see what we have. Again, this is just for reference, our white. And then for reference, our black. So then our four values are held well within inside those two perimeters. So tight, tight, tight. Tight, tight, tight. Thank you. Thanks for working so hard. I know it's not always easy to get up and do the mixing and stuff. But guys, it'll really pay off. It really, really will pay off. Okay, so are we done? What? We got nearly half the show left. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So our moon pretty much is going to be that. Maybe slight variations. But our sky will go from lightest right around the moon. It'll go a little warmer down at the horizon, a little cooler in the mid-sky, and then a little darker and warmer on the outside of the corners too. In other words, that sky's not going to be one solid value right there. So why don't we try to find some of that movement? I know the first thing I'm going to have to do is get a good deal more paint there. So let's mix again. So a little bit of everything in here, huh? Little bit of everything. Still too dark, still too chromatic, or high chroma. Intensity is too high. Just gotta settle down, man. Just gotta settle down. Okay, so when you got a little paint and stuff, it will take some time to mix this. Don't be concerned with how long it's taking. right? Just be concerned with what comes out. I shouldn't say concerned, but be aware of what comes out when you do what. But also don't be attached to it, right? This isn't to one time mix up the most perfect color, but it's to every time we approach the palette to know how to move, to do what we need to do. Okay. So, what do you think is going to happen as it gets closer to the moon? Yep, there's a glow. And what does a glow mean? Well, a glow means that that's going to influence that. Then the question is just how much influence is it putting off? And that's going to depend on the moisture in the air, the brightness of the moon, all of those kinds of things. So that's how this pile will approach the moon, and that pile is the sky. Now this pile will also approach what? It's also going to approach the horizon. At the horizon, this is a bit grayer and a little bit lighter. All the electric lights of Earth. All right. There. Then if we're in the main sky, say up here, then as we go off to the corner, what's it going to do? It's going to get darker, warmer. Well, if we know where we're at on the color wheel, you know you're on the cool side, so believe it or not, black will warm that up. But if it's not enough, you could just kiss that black just a touch with the cadmium, and even a touch, right? All of these are orange, so you could do any of those. And since it's the color we're influencing is cooler than black, you can use black as well. Okay, so as we go away from our light source further and further, it's going to look more and more like that. Okay, again, I know that's really quick, but it's almost just exposure. We got our 4 piles, 1, 2, 3, 4. The moon. Then the sky, now we know the sky is going to have lots of variations. As it gets closer to the moon, it's going to lighten up a little bit. And you can see on the reference up there, as that sky approaches the horizon, it's actually a lot lighter and dirtier even than I have it there, isn't it? But that doesn't mean just because you see it, you're going to put it. Is that going to aid in making your painting more beautiful? Is the real question. Okay, it looks like we've got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So, what do we want to do? We could mix a green up there. I think that's pretty easy. I think what might be more interesting is getting a beach value that's the same as the ocean value that can hold, believe it or not, this. We're going to also use this as that white water between the ocean and the beach, which we want the same value there, but it's going to be orange. So that, with a little tilting, will be our white water. So our beach, not right at our feet. This will be foreground. But as we drop off the cliff, we're going to get to a beach that's somewhere like that, with an ocean something like that. All right, was that a mist? No, we said early on this was our quote-unquote orange. And if I said the beach is an orange at this value, then of course I want to start there. Now, we talked yesterday, last little thing we'll do here is to make all these things a little bit more agreeable. Just bake some cookies. Bake some cookies. Right, so if the beach gets just a touch of that green ocean, if that beach gets a touch of the sky, little kiss on the cheek kinda, and the ocean gets a touch of the beach, and if the ocean gets a touch of the sky, the sky gets a touch of the beach, a touch of the ocean. Moon, sky, ocean, whitewater, sandy beach, foreground cliff. Okay, again, really fast, but this is the practice. Next month, you're going to have a chance to paint this. I mean, you can paint it right now. You can go today and paint it if you want. The reference images in week 4 this week for the in the online school. So you can go there, get the reference image, and mix this if you want. Or you can wait till after Friday where you see me demonstrate it again and then try it. But if you got time, I suggest give it a go. Give it a go, watch Friday's demo, then give it a second go and see what happens. Okay? Part of learning painting is it's a lot of painting. When I was studying, one of the things they used to say is just miles and miles and miles of canvas. Just miles and miles and miles of canvas. So it's true, but this isn't a how many miles of canvas contest can you paint. We want to get better as artists, but that does require some practice. All right, everybody. I love it. I love you guys. Miss Janie, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Miss Shakti says, thank you for making this so simple. I know that each one of us is being washed of our misunderstandings. Yeah, so much of color, of all of painting is simply misunderstandings, right? This is a particular language, particular way of seeing, and a particular way of expressing. And there's rules. There's rules on how these things work, and not arbitrary rules, but rules that you can see with your own eyes. And as we come into harmony with those, people say, oh, you're a good artist. But it's really just being in harmony in the materials and the language we're speaking in. So you're very welcome. All right, everybody. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Janny. Thank you, Shakti, Susan, Tom, Rini. Good to see everybody. So we'll have tomorrow off. What is tonight? Tonight is Wednesday. Ooh, I get to sketch the sunflowers one more time tonight. So we have Sketch Club tonight, and then tomorrow off, and our demo on Friday. All right, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Love to all of you. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.